The sun, with all those planets revolving around it and dependent upon it, can still ripen a bunch of grapes as if it had nothing else in the universe to do.
As a radiant symbol of power, divinity, and wonder, the sun has captured the human imagination since the dawn of time. In this video, we will explore the countless legends of the sun in various ancient cultures and mythologies. Before we start, don't forget to show your support by liking and subscribing to our channel.
Mesopotamian Mythology.
Shamash, also known as Utu, was the god of the sun in ancient Mesopotamia. He was able to see everything that's happening in the world and was considered the protector of travelers. He was also the god of justice and equity and was the judge of both gods and men. At night, Shamash became judge of the underworld.
Egyptian Mythology.
In ancient Egypt, the sun held profound significance, and numerous solar deities were worshipped throughout its history. Amun-Ra was one of the most important gods of ancient Egypt. Originally, he was known as Ra, the falcon-headed god of the sun, the creator of the entire universe, of all gods and humans. As Amun-Ra, his symbol was the ram, and he represented fertility and war, two powerful forces that both create and end humans. He was also the patron of ancient Egyptian pharaohs. Another solar god was Atum, a pre-dynastic deity who came to be associated with the evening or the setting sun. The center of his worship was the city of Heliopolis. Khepri was a scarab-faced god who represented the rising or morning sun, the creation and the renewal of life. He assisted Amun-Ra in his daily activities and was given the job of rolling the sun across the sky during the day.
Sekhmet
was the goddess of healing and medicine, who also represented plague, chaos, war, and hot desert sun. She was the daughter of sun god Ra, who acted as the vengeful manifestation of his power, and was given the epithet the Eye of Ra.
Hindu Mythology.
Lord Surya
was the Hindu sun god and the chief ruler of the Navagraha, the 9 classical planets of Hindu mythology, 7 planets in the solar system, the sun and the moon. Although in the Vedic period, several other deities also possessed solar characteristics, most of these were merged into a single god, Surya. He was commonly represented in a chariot drawn by 7 horses, or by a single horse with 7 heads. He was accompanied by Runa, Surya's charioteer, associated with the red sky of dawn.
Chinese Mythology. Sihe
was a solar goddess and the mother of the 10 suns. The 10 suns, often described as crows or sunbirds, would take turns driving Sihe's carriage. But one day, they decided to all go out at once. The heat of all 10 sunbirds scorched the earth and nearly destroyed the world.
Japanese Mythology. Amaterasu
also known as Amaterasu Mikami, was the goddess of the sun in Japanese mythology and Shinto religion. She was considered the queen of Kami and ruler of the universe. Along with her siblings, the moon deity Tsukuyomi and the storm god Susanoo, she is considered to be one of the three precious children. The most important offsprings of the creator god is Nogi. The Japanese imperial family claims to have descended from her, and this grants them the divine right to govern Japan.
Canaanite Mythology. Shapash,
also called Shopshu, was a Canaanite solar goddess, messenger of the high god El. Shopash was the goddess of the sun, healing, nature, growth, the summer harvest and the ripening of the sweet fruits. But she was also the goddess of underworld, death and decay. It is said that she descended into the land of the dead, as the sun descended beyond the horizon.
Arabian Mythology. Shams,
Also called Shamsun, was a solar deity and the patron goddess of the Himyarite kingdom. The inhabitants of South Arabia worshipped her as a preserver of crops and domestic life. In addition to her role as the goddess of the sun, Shams also served as the goddess of justice, capable of seeing all human actions and bringing all injustices to light.
Hittite Mythology. The sun goddess of Oriana.
Known as Araniti, held a prominent role of the chief goddess in Hittite mythology. She was the guardian of the Hittite kingdom, often referred to as the Queen of all lands. Sun goddess Araniti, together with the weather god Taruna, were a divine pair, occupying the highest position in the Hittite state's pantheon. The center of her worship was the sacred city of Ariana.
Turkic Mythology. Gunana,
Was a common solar deity in Turkic cultures, venerated as a goddess in Kazakh and Kyrgyz mythologies. Her name means Sun Mother in Turkic languages. She held the divine attributes of life, fertility, warmth, and well-being, and she was the protector of the less fortunate, particularly orphans. The Turks who worship Gunana used to turn towards the sunrise when praying.
Australian Aboriginal Mythology. Nui,
Was the female personification of the sun in Wokjo Baltic mythology. Legend says that in a time of eternal darkness, she was a simple woman who left her sleeping son, took a torch, and went to search for yams. She got lost, reached the end of the world, and couldn't find her son anymore. Gnoe ascended to the sky with the torch to find him. She now roams the heavens, lighting the world, forever seeking her lost child.
Warrior Pronili.
Was a solar goddess who carried a torch that represented the sun in the mythology of the Tiwi people of northern Australia. She doused her torch in the Western Ocean, using its glowing embers to guide her journey beneath the earth, returning to the eastern side. The colors of dawn and dusk come from the ochre body paint she wears.
Gila
Was the goddess of the sun for the Adnyamoth people. Legends say that she was a cannibal goddess who roasted her victims over a fire, as the fire was considered the origin of sunlight.
Yu
Was the goddess of creation and personification of the sun in Maori mythology. Legend says that after awakening from a deep slumber, in a world full of darkness, she brought life to the earth. Where she walked, grass, flowers and trees sprung forth. Her divine light gave birth to fish, insects, birds, and animals. Then she ascended to heavens and became a radiant celestial body in the sky, illuminating the world.
Maori Mythology.
Tomanuitira was a significant figure in Maori mythology, a powerful deity associated with the sun. In some legends, Tomanuitira is seen as the personification of the sun itself, while in others he is seen as the son of the sun. He had two wives, the summer maid, Hinoromati, and the winter maid, Hinitikura. During the year he would divide his time between his two wives, symbolizing the changing of the seasons.
Greek Mythology.
Helios was the ancient Greek Titan god and personification of the sun. He was described as a handsome man in purple robes, wearing a radiant crown. His sun chariot was drawn by winged horses. He was also the guardian of oaths and the god of sight.
Eos
Was the goddess of the dawn. Every morning, she emerged from her abode on the banks of the river Oceanus to deliver light and disperse the night. In Greek myth and poetry, she is portrayed as a goddess with a great sexual appetite who took numerous lovers. Another goddess connected with the sun was
Electrona.
She was considered the goddess of the sunrise and caused the people to wake from their sleep every morning. Electrona died a virgin and was worshipped as a heroine on the island of Rhodes.
Roman Mythology.
Sol
Was the ancient Roman god of the sun. Although his cult seems to be native, the Roman poets equated him with the Greek sun god Helios. In Imperial Rome, he acquired the name Sol Invictus, as he became a dominant force in Roman religion.
Aurora
Was the goddess of dawn in Roman mythology and Latin poetry. She was ever young and was always the first one to wake up in the morning, announcing the arrival of the sun.
Norse Mythology. Sol,
Also called Suna or Suni, was the female personification of the sun in Norse and Germanic mythologies. According to legends, she carried the sun across the sky while riding a golden chariot pulled by the golden horses, Arvaka and Alsvida. She was pursued by a wolf called Skoll. When this wolf came too close and bit Sol, it caused solar eclipses. It was said that he will chase the sun across the skies until Ragnarok, at which point he will be able to finally swallow it.
Baltic Mythology. Sowila,
Was a solar goddess in the Lithuanian and Latvian mythologies. She was responsible for all life on Earth and was considered the patroness of the unfortunate, especially orphans. In Latvian folk songs, Sowila was dressed in shawls woven with gold thread, wearing a sparkling crown. She was celebrated during the summer solstice.
Finnish Mythology. Päivätar,
Was the female personification of the sun in Finnish mythology. She was a beautiful goddess who ruled over life and light. According to legends, she spined silver yarns and weaved clothes out of them. In Kalevala, young maidens used to ask Päivätar to give them some of her silver jewelry and clothes.
Slavic Mythology.
Tajbo,
Was one of the main gods in East Slavic mythology, god of the sun and its personification, god of fertility and sunlight. Dajbog was the one who provided warmth and light, life-giving power, and fertility. He was expected to fulfill the most cherished desires, bring health, and ensure bountiful harvests. Some sources mention another Slavic god associated with the sun.
Kors,
The ruler of the solar chariot, who controlled the movement of the sun across the sky and was responsible for the order in the universe.
Aztec Mythology.
Huitzilopochtli was the Aztec god of war and will, lord of the sun and fire. His symbols were either a hummingbird or an eagle. He was an immensely powerful warrior, the patron god of the Aztecs and their capital city, Tenochtitlan.
Inca Mythology.
Inti
was the god of the sun, believed to be the Incas' most powerful god. He was revered as the national patron of the Inca state. He was also the patron god of agriculture, fertility, and military conquest. Inti was the one who provided the warmth and light for the crops.
Maori Mythology.
Kinichaha
Was the sun god of Maya culture. He was also the god of light, time, heat, and the four directions of the universe. Kinichohu was often represented by a jaguar, animal that symbolized power. He was also responsible for the growth of crops, and was known for his healing powers, as he was able to cure diseases and bring relief in times of drought.